Are you ready to transform your summer into an epic splash-tastic adventure? Say goodbye to wasteful, single-use water balloons and hello to the ultimate in reusable, eco-friendly fun with reusable water balloons. Check out the link in the video description to get yours on Amazon today.
A retired businessman drowned in his car in a swollen Ford where a council had failed to install appropriate visible signs, a coroner has ruled. Barry Howard was taking a diversion home late at night to avoid heavy traffic when he drove into the fast-flowing water, which was 3 feet deep. His car was swept away and, although he attempted to call family members, they couldn't make out what he was saying. His body was found in his Toyota Yaris 100 feet downstream from the Ford the following morning. The vehicle was almost completely submerged. An inquest on Tuesday heard the crossing at the River Taws in Shotsham, a few miles south of Norwich in Norfolk, had been closed at the request of the police and temporary signs were in place. But these were not visible as they had been dragged to the side of the road and placed face down by other motorists. A sign in the middle of the crossing indicating the Ford's depth was also barely visible until the car was already in the floodwater. Norfolk County Council had failed to take action despite being aware that warning signs and barriers were often moved by drivers and there had been 15 similar incidents in the previous 2 years, the hearing was told. It had also failed to start a review into the need for permanent signage and a diversion which was required under the Traffic Signs Regulations and General Directions 2016, as it was clear the road closure was long-lasting. Concluding the 75-year-old's death was an accident contributed to by a lack of visible warning signs of flooding and road closure, Coroner Samantha Goward said she was issuing a prevention of future deaths report, which the council must respond to within 56 days. She added, while Norfolk County Council considers the signage is adequate, it isn't sufficient enough to prevent those other incidents and Barry's tragic death. I haven't heard anything to reassure me that appropriate action has been taken to prevent others continuing to fail to be aware of those risks of that unbridged Ford, particularly after heavy periods of rain. I accept the road is still closed at the moment and I've seen the concrete barriers in place. I'm slightly concerned that they were only implemented last week, 7 months after Mr. Howard's death. I am not reassured that once the Ford reopens, future accidents and deaths will all be prevented. Mr. Howard's family said in a statement they believed he had never used the route before, adding, he traveled past a single sign which had been moved and was not showing the road was closed. As he reached the Ford, we believe he did not have the information needed to make an informed decision or understand the risks. His wife of 53 years, retired auxiliary nurse Patricia, criticized the lack of permanent signage, saying, this would have prevented the issue of driving down a closed and impassable road with no warning signs. Mr. Howard was driving home from watching Norwich City play at home against Sheffield Wednesday on December 13 when he took the unfamiliar route to avoid post-match traffic. He got into trouble just after 10 p.m. as he attempted to cross the river, which was swollen after a period of heavy rain, and made the desperate calls to his family. The former company director of family-owned Castle Colour Packaging Ltd. in Norwich was reported missing when he failed to arrive at the £500,000 detached family home in Cossey. Despite the fatality and numerous other incidents at the spot, Ms. Goward noted a senior member of the council's highways team had stated the current signage is adequate and there is no need for additional signage. Speaking earlier this year, Shotsham Parish Council Chairwoman Heather Jackson said members had been calling on the County Council for improved safety at the crossing for 2 years. She said, we have demanded more signs to be put up on the road to make drivers aware of the risk and informed the highways teams continuously. It is also frustrating that people's sat-navs take them through the Ford. I wish the route could be removed from sat-navs. In my opinion, the road is only safe in the summer when the water is low. Earlier this month, Norfolk County Council announced it was conducting a feasibility study to decide what can be done to improve safety at the Ford. A Norfolk County Council spokesman said, our deepest sympathies are with Barry's family and friends.